Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen around the world. I know we're expecting some people from Asia, from Bali that were already on the call, some from Africa, Middle East, and other parts of the world here in Europe as well. My name is Stephan Earnhart. I'm one of the founding members of UNIT, and I'm very happy to be presenting the history, the challenges, and the new economy of the hotel industry, which I'm very excited about exploring for the future. What we're going to look at is a little bit the why, how, and what, the goal and the vision, the problems that we're facing, especially coming out of the pandemic right now in the hotel industry, some possible solutions that have already been explored, and a brief history of the Swiss hospitality industry, which may be sort of an example of how other industries have evolved, and then spend most of our time on the decentralized age, which is the time that we're in right now, and what we can envision for the future of hospitality. We'll briefly look at the real estate and hotel market values and some business models here in Switzerland, and then an invitation to the World Hotel Forum, November 24th. So why is this of interest to us to think about building a hotel token economy? And it's simply, and it's exciting, is we wanted to create a more fair, democratized economy for the world of hospitality. How would we do this? Is build an open source, open blockchain platform that we've done with UNIT to create tokens and equitably fund your projects, so that anyone in the hospitality industry, no matter where they are, if it's in finance or if it's in operations, can find ways of funding their projects for the future. What is a hotel token economy? Well, it's one that where hotels, it's like one that hotels are publicly traded stocks, and guests and employees are stakeholders. They're part owners of these hotels or these projects alongside the founders and investors. Our goal is quite simple in that we want to achieve and solve the wealth inequity by creating this token economy, which completely changes the role of money in society. Our vision is to first build this core team for the hotel industry, and I would invite all of you that are participating here and your contacts to consider being part of our team, where we want to establish this global hotel industry community, with which then we will be producing and launching 2 seminars, 2 world hotel forums a year, where we'll be inviting speakers and industry leaders and forward thinkers to join us to create this new economy together. And then we also want to issue 100 million token units for the hotel industry that will help supply and fund projects. And the exciting thing too is on the UNIT platform, anyone in the hotel industry and other industry, we just looked at the fashion industry too, can create their own tokens and fund their own projects. If it's expansion of a hotel, if it's a new hotel, it's their supply chain that needs to be upgraded, etc. Anything is then possible using the platform, and that's our vision. The problem right now is coming out of this pandemic worldwide, and it's in Switzerland, in Europe, and I know from my friends around the world, we're facing a financial crisis in the hotel market. The cash reserves are drained, and it's going to be very difficult coming out of this situation without proper funds. And some of the old institutional investment strategies, we're going to have to rethink those if we're going to be able to compete. And the cost of capital has become higher and higher. The potential pool of investors is also limited because the high barriers of entry, and then the assets become very illiquid. which means if you invest in a hotel, getting your money out of the hotel can take years until you can liquefy that. And as we've all played the Monopoly game, if we play the game where the bigger ones win and gain more, there's only one winner in that. And that's part of our big problem. I've collected a few quotes from people, but emerging from the pandemic, the hotel financing industry will struggle and fail to achieve a healthy recovery and sustainable growth if it does not reinvent itself. And there's a lot of concern about the monopolistic REITs, the real estate investment trusts that were very popular in the 10, 20, 30 years ago. And those REITs are like real estate, smell like real estate, but look like bonds and walk like equity. But the problem here is that, like the Hotellerie Suisse has said, it's the biggest financial crisis that we've seen since the Second World War. And it's turning institutional investors upside down. So can we find some solutions to this problem in financing our future economies in the hotel industry? The solution we think is dismantling what we have and decentralizing the economic system, where it's a tokenized economy. It's a democratized hotel investment economy, where the cost of capital is much lower. The pool of investors is immense. I mean, anyone can invest that has a few francs or a few dollars to invest, and much lower entry barriers. Liquidity is much increased because you can pull out, you can sell your tokens, you can trade your tokens and get out anytime you want, or stay in and make more money as the value grows. And it's more equitable. So that means all in the end are winners in this new economy. So the solution, as we talked about, is decentralized and equitable. It's lower cost of capital, increased pool of potential investors, like Dan, Natalia said, for more global. And we have other quotes that I think are very salient about what the potential is here in this 1.4 trillion US dollar asset value within the next 5 years. So we see some huge upswings, huge opportunities for us to reinvent and recreate a new economy for the hospitality industry. Now I need to advance here. So a brief history. Now, people have talked about the Swiss hospitality industry being the birthplace of hospitality, and I don't think that's true, although it has its reputation. I know of many other countries that have beautiful histories of hospitality that go back many, many more centuries than in Switzerland that we've experienced here. But I think what's true is that together with César Ritz, who was a Swiss hotelier, we had quite a bit of an influence in the modern hospitality industry, especially the luxury hospitality industry. So here in Switzerland, it all started with the Roman age, where the Romans occupied the territories of what are now Switzerland. It was called Helvetica, and they brought together with them all their traditions of going to the waters, the spa and wellness, the social life around the spa. And that was the early signs of hospitality here in Switzerland. And it influenced, it's interesting that today we're back to spa and wellness in our industry. Then after the Roman Empire collapsed, out of its ashes rose the phoenix of the Roman Catholic Church, which dominated Europe and the economies of Europe. And there was a lot of business that needed to be done with the church. And some of the Northern European countries or countries that were around us had difficulties getting to Rome except coming through Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is this massive alpine region, which is difficult to cross, especially in the winter. But in the summertime, it was possible to cross the passes into Italy. And you see on the bottom right the picture of the hospice on St. Bernard, the pass of St. Bernard, where the dogs are bred to help people that might get caught in the snow traveling over there. But the church helped out here with providing a place where they could get some a warm bowl of soup and a bed to sleep in, and as well as the private homes of Swiss people that were at this point peasants, were opening up their doors with an extra bed and an extra plate at the dinner table to help the passengers that come through. So this was obviously not an industry yet, but it did change then during the Industrial Revolution, where Europe and beyond started building and creating new wealth. People were with this new wealth were able to travel, wanted to see Europe and the sights. But the problem was a lot of the cities where the industrialization was taking place were getting dark and dangerous for the health. And there were a few poets, Goethe and others, that came to Switzerland and wrote about how somehow untouched Switzerland was during this Industrial Revolution. And it caused a whole stream of people that wanted to come and see Switzerland and experience the untouched beauty of nature. And many of them wanted to go up into the mountains to see the Alps, see the glaciers. So we built some guest houses and some train systems, some cable car, and other systems to transport people up into the mountains. Some of these were funded by families, many of them by societies that sold bonds in order to pay for the building of the houses and the transportation systems. Now, tourism kept coming, and more noble people of not just new money, but old money, started to come to Switzerland and experience life, the good life here in Switzerland. And the Grand Hotel was invented in 1816 and on, where we saw these beautiful properties by the lakes, up in the mountains, in the cities that were being built in order to accommodate the new traveler that could pay for these kinds of services. And these were partly family owned. Some of the hotels still today are family owned, but others also were funded by selling bonds with societies that then had shares in these hotels. But they were all independent hotels. Then came the Belle Epoque, the years before the First World War, which was the period of time where it was roaring here in Europe. It's called the Belle Epoque, and the first Palace Hotel was opened in St. Moritz in 1896, and these were now places of grandeur, places of luxury, with all the services, hot and cold running water, electricity in the Alps, and all this. It was an amazing period, and Cesar Ritz was one of the ones that ushered in this age of luxury and the Palace Hotel. He ended up, of course, opening up several hotels in Europe, including the Ritz in Paris. So then what's today? We're going to be looking at this decentralized age, which started 2009, 2010 with the development of the blockchain and Bitcoin. And it's opened up a whole new world of possibility. It's an exciting new world where we can maybe solve some of the problems that we're facing today and will be facing in the future together with this new technology. But I need to just give you an overview of the development. When we look at Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0, Web 1 was the information economy. That's, in the 90s, where hotel websites were available online. We had search engines like Yahoo and Internet Explorer and others, where we could go and visit things, learn things, download things, and read things and learn. That then changed when the platform economy started in the 2000s, where social networks started popping up. So now it's not only about reading, but we can write back, we can communicate, and the booking engines, hotel.com and etc. came up, so we can price compare and we can book directly online. And we had the user-generated ratings like TripAdvisor and others, where you can now interact directly with others in the social network, but also give feedback and rate your experiences in the various sectors. And then since 2009 or 2010, we have the token economy with blockchain platforms, tokenizations, decentralizations, and today it's exciting because I think everything is now possible that may have been difficult in the past. So we can not only read and write back, but we can now execute. We can do smart contracts. We can do business together. We can exchange value on the blockchain, on these exchanges, etc. It's a really exciting time. And here's just some examples of what has been happening in the hotel sector that people have experimented with. And in this decentralized age, of course, the NFTs that have gotten a lot of publicity lately with the sale or the auctions of digital art for millions of dollars. Hotels that are strapped with cash and need some money now, if they can sell futures, basically, they can sell a booking in advance and get money. This is helpful. And OpenSea launched this auction for an NFT for the Villa Natura in Ibiza, Spain, which then sold for 2.6 Ethereum tokens, which at that time was about 3,900 in value. Now the owner, the purchaser of this, can keep it and use it for the dates that he booked them for or bought them for, or he can resell it. And then as they resell, they get some residuals from the resale, and they can also keep the original for their own value. Keep their own value that way. Now, in Venice, there was also very recently, last month, 2 months ago in August, the Ca di Dio, the House of God, which also sold the hotel bookings for the FTEs, and they were able to sell it for one Ethereum token for, at that time, the value of 3,200. Very interesting developments here, because reservations for hotels in the whole booking.com world, hotels pay them a percentage of the value of the room. So this is now bypassing all that, and hotels can save 10, 15, 20% of the booking costs by doing this directly. And Sean O'Neill, with whom I spoke from Skift, was saying how incredible important this development is. Instead of relying on booking.com and others, they can find ways of directly connecting with their niche audiences. And then, of course, Binance, which we know quite well, is an exchange platform, launched its own NFT marketplace. And one of the early adopters was Travala, a Asian travel company that also does bookings and recommendations, etc. And they created their own token, the AVA token, which you can pay, you can invest in Travala by buying this token, investing in this token, but also you can use it as an exchange for your bookings. And but you can use this token, but you can also use other forms of payment on the exchange. And then, of course, the whole new generation of booking platforms are coming. And one of the early ones is this company in India, who is developing the Tokenites, who is developing a entire booking platform built entirely on the blockchain. And here it's sort of a complicated view of what exists now on the left-hand side of your screen. And who all the intermediaries are, if it's group bookings, individual bookings, the online travel organizations, etc. It's a really complicated system right now. And I think the blockchain and the way that we're going to be doing this differently will revolutionize it, simplify it, and make it much more equitable for all. There's one of the first, well, it is the first entirely crypto hotel that was launched. That's entirely on the blockchain, and that was allowed to then sell individual parts of the hotel. So you can invest in the beach, you can invest in the pier, you can invest in the hotel itself, or one of the restaurants, or one of the bars, or the golf course, or whatever. And then you're part investor, part owner of this crypto hotel. And as the value goes up, then you can trade and do more things with your crypto, with your investments. But I think this is sort of an image of what we could be doing in the hotel space, in the real hotel space, how we could view this. And I included this only just kind of open our minds a little bit to the possibilities of what we could be doing. And one of the ones is in Indonesia, the Kunang Resort in Indonesia, which was the first NFT resort. It raised over 3.6 million in funds in order to build this resort. And of course, the owners of this are also timeshare owners with these tokens, and they can share in their time in this beautiful resort, or they can, at some point, they can liquefy their investments, sell their tokens as the value goes up. It's a wonderful opportunity for everyone to be involved. There was a luxury hotel in London, which recently was tokenized, 600 million US dollars of value. And Adrian Lai, who's the CEO of Liquefy, who organized and managed this tokenization of the hotel, said that, you know, as blockchain technology progresses, we're seeing accelerating interest in digital securities from the real estate sector. The deal sizes and pipeline have grown exponentially over the past year. And we're certain that there's huge potential for technology to enable new business models in the real estate ecosystem that lower operational costs and increase liquidity. So what a great opportunity and outlook for the future in hotel financing. There's also the luxury condo in New York, in Manhattan, 30 million in value that was tokenized. So you can own a piece of a luxury condo in Manhattan, and as the value goes up, and you trade in your tokens for it, then you get your money back out of it, plus the wins that you get. There's one villa, 6.5 million value outside of Paris that also was sold, tokenized. So, and what is interesting there, they were saying, you know, even for 6.5 euros, you can be a part owner of this villa outside of Paris. So if just the Swiss hotel industry, when we look at how it's structured, we see, and this is going to be different than in other markets, we see that over 40% is owned and managed. Those are the family-owned and managed small property hotels. Some of them are a little bit larger, but most of them are small, sort of the mom and pop industry. But growing is the managed sector, where the owners just no longer want to manage their own properties, and they hire management companies that come in, like Marriott or Four Seasons. And then there's also those who are franchised, and that's also growing. And now this market is changing dramatically, and it's going to provide some opportunities for the tokenization market to look into how we can make some major changes. The global real estate asset value today is incredibly high, 228 trillion, the global market, which if you combine the global bond and stock market values, it doesn't come close. I mean, it comes a little close. The global hotel market size is running about 1 trillion. You can see in the graph that it was going up from 12 up to almost 1.5 trillion, and it's dropped in 20, but it's regaining. But I think here we have an opportunity to rethink how we're going to invest and share in this value that's being created. So now what? What's in it for us? What's the future for us? I think it's exciting. It's really exciting for me and for all of us to think about how we can help democratizing this economy in the hotel world, in the hotel sector. Coming up is the World Hotel Forum. I'd love for you to be part of that. It's on November 24th. If you would like to be a speaker, please let me know. You can sign up directly on the website. But we want to bring together the world of hospitality. No, we want to question the way the world of hospitality currently works and what new models could be implemented with a whole bunch of people, from visionaries, technologists, entrepreneurs, investors, creatives, teachers. This is where I'm talking to those, social change makers, etc., where we can pave the road ahead together. And this will be happening online. And on the 24th, we're hoping to have 100 sessions running in 4 or 5 different rooms simultaneously with 1,000 participants, and creating about 50 hours of live content, which all goes in on YouTube. So I invite you to be part of this. If you don't want to be a speaker, you can be a participant. Otherwise, join our hotel team that we can together build something for the future. Thank you so much for being part of this and sharing in this exciting new venture that we have ahead of us. Here's the unitconference.com if you want to sign up to be a speaker or participant. And then you can also check in with me at any time if you want to become part of our team. Thank you very much.